Hello and welcome to this AWS video series focused on helping enterprise organizations understand Amazon's approach to innovation and how you can apply those same approaches to innovation in your own organization. As a company, we've gone through a lot of change at Amazon. We were based early on as a bookseller and a retail company based largely on a large monolithic IT infrastructure, and now we're an organization doing a myriad of different things all over the world, from creating an incredible online shopping experience for customers around the world, to considering drone delivery, e-readers, and building one of the world's largest and most successful cloud platform companies. The way that we've done that is we've thought critically about old world and new world organization and operation. In the old world, we were forcing ourselves to think through monolithic architectures, not only monolithic when it comes to technology, but monolithic when it comes to organization and people, creating large, complex organizations that manage large, complex pieces of technology. Over time, what we've done is realize that we need to shift our thinking from large monolithic thinking to small microservice orientation, not just around technology, but also around people, culture, skills, and the ability for us to take risks and move quickly. In fact, in order to innovate at the speed that we want to innovate at, we know that we have to do things differently, and I would challenge you to think the same. Early on, Jeff Bezos said that you have to be willing to be misunderstood for extended periods of time. So I would ask yourself, are you willing to be misunderstood? And what are you doing to create an organization that innovates and moves quickly in taking risks? First of all, everyone is an inventor. In fact, everyone is in research and development. You may be surprised to understand that at Amazon, we actually don't have a dedicated research and development team. The underlying belief is that every single Amazonian is a part of that team. In fact, we believe that those organizations that form their own R&D organizations off to the side have it wrong, because there again, that means big thinking and creative thinking is happening outside of the day-to-day business. It's happening with space between customers and those big ideas. So therefore, what's critical for us is to employ mechanisms and programs to unlock the ability for every single employee to think big and experiment for our customers. So we do this and we help our customers experiment by reducing the cost and risk of failure. What we've heard from customers for years is that while they can make the cultural and organizational changes needed to make it safe to fail, taking a risk and failing can actually be very expensive. That's why Amazon and many of our customers leverage Amazon Web Services to help mitigate the risk and shift from a CapEx-oriented model to an OpEx-oriented model. Essentially, what that means is you're allowing your teams to think critically and think big about new ideas. They're able to then use a platform like AWS to spin up technology quickly, test and hypothesize if their ideas have legs, and if so, scale and expand that idea. But if not, all they have to do is turn off that service. So compare that with the old world, where there were multiple weeks or months of business cases required that would result in significant software and hardware purchases. That technology would then be racked and stacked and powered, and only then would the experimentation be allowed to start. Now move forward into the new world where we're allowing customers and our own organization to move much more quickly. Think of an idea, spin up the technology, see if it works, and if it doesn't, just stop paying for it. We also think about speed. In order to innovate and experiment, you have to move quickly. Gone are the days where you can think of an idea or consider perhaps what a customer needs or a competitor may be doing and spend weeks or months trying to prove out your idea. The companies that move the quickest and serve customers the quickest will be the companies that win at the end of the way. In terms of other mechanisms that we use, I want to call out a few things that are very specific to Amazon, but are things that you yourself may be able to employ as well. For one, we have a concept of leadership principles. These 14 items are all really the core DNA of who we are as a company. They're things like bias for action, ownership, diving deep, and thinking big. These are not really great terms that we write in calligraphy, we hang on the wall in the lobby when we all walk in and casually glance at them on our way into work. In fact, we use these leadership principles to recruit, to motivate, to develop, and even reward our employees. In fact, throughout the year, our employees are constantly assessed as to not only what results they're delivering for customers, but how is he or she demonstrating leadership principles on any given day. The fact that we can return to that concept of 14 leadership principles helps us operate in a consistent way and frankly acts as our true north, or our compass, if you will, to ensure we hold on to that culture. So in addition to technology being a critical part of innovating at speed, organizations and people are obviously required. In fact, we're a technology company. We obsess over technology and we obsess over customers, and yet we have to think critically around how we're organized and designed in order to help unleash that experimentation. One of the ways that we do that is a concept we call two pizza teams. It's a way that we think about organizing small, nimble teams that can be fed by two pizzas that allow them to move quickly, make decisions on their own, and cut through a lot of the bureaucracy and process and overload that we've observed can slow down old world companies. In addition to thinking about the size of teams and what we feed them, we also think about the skills needed on those teams. We think critically around what skills do we need today in order to deliver, but also, and very importantly, what do we anticipate our customers needing tomorrow, and investing deeply in ensuring that our people are not just super high performers in the needs of today, but pushing themselves and pushing the boundaries of their skill sets looking forward. So again, I would encourage you to pause and not just think about the technology you're using to innovate, but think about the way you're organized. How do you communicate? How do you set goals? Are your teams empowered to think critically and move forward on their own? And how are you thinking about developing the skills of people on your team? Similarly, we take the approach that we just discussed about with people and we apply it to technology. So the concept of microservices is something that you're going to see throughout all of Amazon and AWS. In fact, those of you that use Amazon.com from an online retail perspective may not know that there are many microservices running behind that web service at any given time. That is not one monolithic web application. What we've done over years of working with customers and realizing what customers need is to create thousands and thousands of microservices that all have two pizza teams behind them, servicing and innovating those microservices. In fact, the Amazon.com website gets updated every 6 seconds. So when you think about the old world of long development cycles, the ability to deploy updates would require you to have downtime. It would require you to create dissatisfaction with customers. But by shifting your people and your technology to a concept of microservices, it allows you to think in much more quick, much more risk-taking, and much more innovative terms. In addition to the things that I've mentioned, a fundamental part of the way that we work internally is we work backwards from the customer. And what we mean by that is we put the customer at the center of what we're doing. While that may sound like a fluffy term that's easy to say, it's a core part of the way that we operate, meaning we work hard to identify what does great look like for our customer. Not only do we do that day to day in how we're interacting with our customers, we also think about this as we're launching entirely new businesses. We do that through a number of interesting ways. For one, we actually start with a press release. We take time before we've even built one line of code to write a press release that describes the future state. It describes what the new business or the new service or the new product may look like and the gains and the benefits that that's going to provide our customers. The power of writing the press release is, again, it gives you a true north to be able to point to, and it allows you to then reverse engineer from that press release and ensure that you always keep that goal in mind. For your own organization, I would encourage you to pause and think, when you've gone down the path of products or programs, how often have you truly clarified the end point and ensured that you're constantly staying focused on what great meant for your customers? The whole concept of trying to move away from projects and trying to move to product teams is a concept that we embrace inside Amazon and inside AWS, and that may also be another philosophy that you find can work well for your organization. Thank you very much for watching today, and stay tuned for more episodes.